none. So there's a little bit of information here, but honestly there's not a lot to go on. Okay, so I'm not sure if we just didn't get enough time to go here, or we played around a little too much. I'm not sure. So let's look at this problem together. We're talking about a cell phone bill with AT&T, and we're talking about text messages. What formula does it tell me that I need to use to figure out the total cost of my phone bill? Can somebody raise your hand and tell me what formula I would use for 1A? Nikki.
C equals 60 plus 0.
Exactly. C equals 60 plus, keep going.
0.10.
Great. What does the C stand for? Amanda?
Celsius?
Not in this problem.
I don't know. I haven't seen the problem, so.
What is this? It's on your board. It's on your paper. Yes, this is the same thing that's on your paper. What is it, Bailey?
540.
But what does the C represent in this formula? Dallas? No, C does not stand for customer.
Ooh, right here.
Jaron?
Cost per month.
No. Yes. I'm sorry. Absolutely. Yes. It is the cost of the phone bill. Okay, for that month. What does the X represent according to this problem?
Ooh.
What does the X represent according to this problem? Avery?
X represents the number of text messages.
Will you please write down where it says X represents the number of text messages? And right above the letter C on your paper, I want you to write total cost. So we know what each one of these letters represents. It's important that when you're using the formula that you understand what each part of the formula represents. So if I'm trying to figure out my phone bill with 540 texts, what do I do with this formula?
You find the total cost of it?
How?
60 times 10 point.
No.
Yeah, 60.
You follow the text messages times 0.10, and then you add it to 60.
So what do I write down for the next step of my formula, Sandra?
You put C equals 60 plus 0.10 parentheses 540.
So I've got to plug in the 540 where the X was to figure out the total cost of my phone bill. So now we have everything in there that we need, so I'm going to solve it. What is 540 times 0.10?
54.
Josh, it is 54. So I'm going to go over here to the side and I'm going to do my multiplication. Times 0.10, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 4, sorry, 0, 4, 5. And then I add it up and I get 540. And then I move my decimal 2 places and I have $54. So 60 plus 54.
Equals 114.
So the total cost of my phone bill for this month is $114.
And that doesn't include
Okay.
apps or calls or...
So let's look at question B. Question B says, if a customer makes 0 texts for the month, then how much is their bill?
What?
Ooh.
Oh.
What would I do to this question? Ricky?
C.
Go ahead.
C equals 60 plus 0.10.
X?
X, yeah.
Okay. What is X going to be in this problem, Amanda? X is going to be 0, so we're going to rewrite this. 60 plus 0.10 times 0. What is 0.10 times 0? Everybody?
0.
So what are we left with?
60 plus
$60. 60 plus what?
0.
D. So what does that mean,
That's
Avery?
the base point.
It means that 60 is the total cost that you're gonna have to pay, and that is because $60 is the base amount minus the cost for your text messages.
Exactly. $60 is the base amount that I'm going to have to pay every month. And added to that will be text messages, depending on what my rate is. Okay? Great. So what we're doing is we're taking the formula that is given to us, and we are then plugging in the numbers that they give us to figure out the solution. Simple as that. Using the formulas to answer the problem. Let's look at number 2. Read number 2 to yourself really quickly, please. What formula will I be using in this one? What formula will I be using in this one?
D equals.
Raise your hands, please. Dallas?
D equals RT.
Great. And what does the D represent?
Distance.
Distance. Will you underline that, please? D represents distance. What does R represent?
Rate.
Which is what?
How fast it's going.
How fast it's going. Rate is always going to be in something like miles per hour or feet per second or something to that effect. And what does T represent?
The
Time. Okay? So let's look at the numbers in this problem. Dallas told us we're going to use D equals RT. What does the number 260 represent? Raise your hands, please. Raise hands. What does the number 260 represent? Is that D, R, or T, Teodric?
Oh no,
Is the 260 D, R, or T, Teodric?
Is it D?
Absolutely. So underline 260, and we're going to write D above it, because that's distance, and we have miles. What is 65 miles per hour? 65 miles per hour. Larry? It is the rate, so I'm going to put an R right above it. So now I have everything chosen. I have to figure out now where it goes in my formula. What is D? I know, what is it?
269.
260 equals R. Do I know R? 65 what?
Times T.
Times T.
Do you just put a T next to it?
You can just put a T next to it. Now how do I figure what T is? Great. So what is T? But what is it for this problem? How long is it going to take my family to get to Galveston?
The hour.
I know, figure it out. That's what I'm asking you.
Oh.
Figure it out.
Oh, I got it.
Kendall, what'd you get?
4 hours.
Absolutely. So T equals 4 hours. Again, I want to make sure that you are following exactly what I want you to do. First, write down the formula, plug in the numbers that you know, and then solve the formula. So let's do the same thing for number 3. What is 450 miles per hour? Is that D, R, or T, Emilio?
D.
It's R, thank you. So we're going to underline it and put a little R above it. And what is 2.5 hours? 2.5 hours. Yes. Yep. Time. So underline 2.5 hours, and we'll put a T above it. See, now that I've identified everything, it's easier for me to stick to my formula. So D equals RT. D equals, what is R? What is R?
450.
450. And what is T? 2.5. I'm going to put T in parentheses just because the decimal and the dot sometimes get confusing. So Hamza, how do I find the distance? Multiply. Can somebody tell me what 450 times 2.5 is? Raise your hands, please.